How is it going today?
Lois.
Dwayne.
My name's Jazz.
We're Dwayne Jazz. Today we have for you episode 2 review of Loki. I've been burdened with a glorious purpose.
And you'll say that
every time.
Okay.
Every episode.
All right.
All right. Wait, before we even start the review, if you guys have any reaction requests or reviews, please follow us on our social medias in the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's dive on in. Where we gonna start?
Well, now he's like in the beginning they gave him his TVA jacket basically, and he felt like kind of good in it. And, like he had the like little pop collar, so it kind of feels like his old like cloak and stuff. And but then they still put Variant on the back because they need to let him know like we still don't trust you basically.
I mean, who trusts Loki? As
they shouldn't. So but they're basically trying to just go and figure out what the other Lokis moves were gonna be by using him. So it kind of was like a cool dynamic. It was like that buddy cop thing, like between him and like Mobius, like where like they hate each other, but like they kind of like each other at the same time. Right. So I kind of thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, the episode started off with the other Loki taking the commander, and then at 1985 or something like that. Early 90s, I would say in the 80s to 90s. And then taking the reset charges, because you see that this Loki been taking reset charges, and we're like, what are they taking the reset charges for? Because it's supposed to. Isn't it supposed to essentially reset the timeline, right?
The timeline. But like eventually we saw that Loki basically was taking them and took the commander that one time because she gave him the coordinates of the Time Lords, I think she said. And so they were sending, the other Loki was sending all of those, what are they called again?
Time charges.
The time charges, right. Sent all those time charges to that coordination.
Right, but I thought, they said, oh my God, they said send it to the but they didn't send it. She didn't send it.
I thought she did.
Well, we just spoiled it.
Whatever, it's a woman
Loki. It's a woman Loki. Okay.
Very
surprising.
First of all, I thought that we already knew that because it said gender fluid for
so
Loki, and then they were never shown the face from the first episode. So I'm automatically assuming that it's a she because they were like, oh, he. I'm like, nah, it's a she. It's a woman.
So, but she was like, she gave the coordinates away to the TVA. But those reset charges went to the sacred timeline. And
they bombed the sacred timeline.
She bombed the sacred timeline. That is nuts.
But that part, it made me excited because you saw like the timeline, like the regular, like
the regular nice,
the regular
straight timeline,
and then it all started branching away.
And
that made me think that was like the birth of like the multiverse that Doctor Strange is gonna have to fix
in the Multiverse of Madness.
Later on in the Multiverse of Madness, maybe. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, oh my God. Like all I was thinking was Doctor Strange has to fix this.
I'm like, yo, but it's just because then you saw the TVA going like all the phones ringing off the hook, and then you saw them like, oh my God, somebody's bombed the sacred timeline, and then you see like Sakar, you see like Italy, you see like Hong Kong, Japan, all different type of plays in different times, 200,
different times,
2300, 1500s. I'm like, yo, this is insane. And then the fact that Loki, they went to he found out that if how the Loki was like hiding, and so if there's a catastrophe and everybody in that catastrophe dies, it doesn't matter what he does during that because they're gonna die anyway. So it never caused a time anomaly. And I was like, that is smart.
There's nobody left as a witness to
whatever you
did, of whatever happened.
Right, and so you could keep going back to that before that catastrophe,
over and over,
and
to
just
hide
chill.
out and just chill.
Right,
and then when it everything goes down, they just leave and
go
somewhere else. So I thought that was really cool, and I think that this episode showed that there's there might be like a power unbalance between I don't know how to explain it, between Loki and like the other like female Loki, because it's like when they showed the other like Loki, she had the same like horns that he does, and everything. So it's kind of like telling me that one is very similar to the Loki that we know, right? But she was able to go into people's bodies, basically.
And he looked like he didn't know what that was.
I don't know. Could he do that before?
I don't think he could. Imagine how easy it could be if he could have done that.
For him to move around.
Right. He could just touch you. I'm in you.
Yeah.
And now I take control of you. Man, that's the Avengers.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Loki thinks that this Loki, like deep down inside, that he thinks that this other Loki is stronger than him.
Right?
Right. And that's why he keeps saying, "Well, I'm the superior one. I'm the better one." Because that's the lesser one. Because his ego has to be filled all the time. So he's like
and
always
he was
projecting like I'm the better.
And
one.
he was telling that Loki, "You could be my subordinate lieutenant."
Right. So you can be my subordinate. Okay.
Right.
Like you can't be above me.
Right. And so it was very interesting that whole dynamic, and also we got a huge Easter egg, and I think the year was 2050. Roxxon. Basically, Rock's card, but it's like Roxxon.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, we might get some. And that was 2050, and I think we're in the Marvel universe because they skipped 5 years. We're like 223, 24, around that time.
I don't know.
Because we're 5 years ahead of where we are at currently, and so in like 25 years, I guess I don't know if Roxxon, they're gonna go into more Roxxon, or in like the next few years that Roxxon will build and become a conglomerate. But that it was very interesting. And then also it was very interesting with the TVA how they did not care about those people. They said, why should I care about those people if they're gonna die anyway? I was like, God.
Mobius actually cared. He was like, stop scaring them, please.
Right.
And then he was just like, they should be scared. They're gonna die. I'm like, hold up. Like, all right, damn.
Right. Yeah. I'm like,
I get it, but like, have some decency.
Right. And
Come on.
So it's very interesting, and the time lizards, and then he low-key found about Asgard and them getting annihilated.
Do you feel like the Time Lords really exist?
I don't know, because
when Mobius was asking about him, because he was like, I never seen him.
Because
even Mobius, who's been there for a long time, he's like, I've never seen them and stuff like that. And he was talking to the other lady, and she was just like, just know that they're working basically. And I'm just like, so. Are they really there?
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like,
are they not? They're just a thing.
They're just a symbol.
Right, it's a symbol that y'all created, but you're operating underneath somebody, which we think is
Kang the Conqueror.
Exactly.
Yeah, because one of the TVA agents looked extremely like Kang. But yeah, he was basically, they were having their existential crisis. Like, you're from Asgard and you guys are supposed to be gods and blah blah blah, and look at you. And because they was having like comparing, like you're born here to be in the TVA, and he was like, why do you have the jet skis? And they probably then, I'm pretty sure, like at the end of the whole episode, like the whole series, that him and Loki are gonna be on jet skis.
Jet skis, maybe.
Right? And it was just funny because he just loves jet skis, and that's why he got the magazine. And then also don't forget about the whole thing about Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes was basically like an AI.
He was fighting it.
Right. And it was like, are you alive or not? And she was like,
yes and no.
Yeah, I was like, so you're an AI. You're not just like, I thought it was just like a cartoon. You're actually a AI. You're a thing. And I was like, oh God. That's kind of creepy now. But he was studying he's studying a lot on the TVA.
Yep.
I guess
Of course, he has to know the ins and outs.
He wants to know the ins and outs because he wants to take over the TVA. He wants to take.
Yeah.
He realized the
But
Infinity
Mobius
Stone.
knew that too. That's why he was like, you don't try to take us over, right?
Right.
And he's like, no. He's like,
okay. Stop the cap.
He's like, I know that's what you're trying to do. Later on, you're gonna betray me.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so very much there isn't really that much Easter eggs that I know about. I don't know if you caught any Easter eggs in this episode, but for pretty much right now it's straightforward. We haven't really got anything crazy like Easter eggs.
Yeah, we haven't gotten anything that we don't really understand yet.
Like, but so don't forget about the kablooey gum that they use as an evidence locker as another hint to go find female Loki. And I'm just like, and I'm like, what is female Loki's objective? Because I think she could have easily sent those charges to the TVA unless they don't work.
Well, she didn't know where it was.
What, the TVA's coordinates?
Yeah, that's why she had to get the commander.
Right, but then she learned, because that's what I thought they was going to do. Like, she gave it away. She gave away the coordinates to the TVA.
Yeah.
And so she was going to send those charges to the TVA. And I'm pretty sure if she sent those charges to the TVA, a lot of people would be reset.
But I don't know though, because like I don't think that the people in the TVA are like their existence or them, I guess, dying would matter. I don't know. know.
There's a lot of secrecy
it's
though.
It's like they're alive, but like not.
Time works differently there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's like not.
So what would have happened if a recharge? Because they did have the baton, and they did like the first episode. She hit the like, you know, with that worker hit the baton of the stack of stuff, and it reset. So obviously their weapons still work in that temporal zone. So what would happen if she threw it down? Instead of her target being a sacred timeline, it'd be the TVA. What will happen? What is the female Loki's objective? I don't know. I still don't understand why.
Well, it's only the second episode.
I know, but I'm saying, like, you know how we predict and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What could possibly be her angle?
I don't know. I'm not going with no prediction.
Right.
No. After WandaVision, I have no theory.
After WandaVision, I've been scarred.
I have nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just curious. I'm like, if she didn't.
And it was a cool thing that when as soon as they like got out of the TVA and they got to the place, it was like got to Roxcart and it was raining and stuff like that, and then Loki went inside and did his little magic to make himself dry. Yeah, that was a
slick way of testing.
Because, like, in the TVA, he couldn't use his powers at all. And so when he got out, he just used that one little thing to make him dry. And then he saw that it worked. And she was like, what was that? And he was like, that was me using magic. And then he was like, to dry my clothes. And I was just like, okay, so now he knows that he could use his powers here, outside of the TVA.
Outside of the TVA. He said, my powers still work.
So that he could use that later on.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That's definitely, like, Loki is not dumb.
He's not dumb at all.
He's not dumb at all. He's very smart and treacherous. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't know what's gonna happen in this series, man. I really don't have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm just ready for the ride.
I'm on for the ride. Who doesn't like a time travel story and multiverse?
Right.
It's gonna be so good. I definitely think Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Loki has to be there. He has to be there in some capacity. We already know Wanda is going to be in there. Mm-hmm. But Loki has to be in there because he's also messing with the multiverse too.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know that scene when she set those charges off in the sacred timeline and set off. Oh man, boy.
It's getting me excited.
Yeah, it's getting me excited. Anyway, guys, comment below. Let's know.
Don't forget to like,
subscribe.
and share.
Just more. This is